Economics, Standard 11, Unit 2, Consumption Analysis. Consumption is the sole and object of economic activity, says James Hinz. Consumption is an essential economic activity. The quantity and quality of consumption determine the standard of living of the people. So, what is consumption? Consumption is defined as the use of goods and services for satisfying wants. So remember, satisfying wants. So that's very important. So the use of goods and services for satisfying wants is known as consumption. Consumption is the beginning of economic science. And in the absence of consumption, there can be no production, no exchange or distribution. It is also an end of production. Producers produce goods and goods are consumed by the consumers. So it is also an end of production. Producers produce goods to satisfy the wants of the people. Producers produce goods to satisfy the wants of the people. In ordinary language, desire and want means the same. So, ordinary language, desire and want means the same. So they both means the same. But this is in ordinary language. In economics, want means. So you have to just think of this difference. Buy and satisfy. Buy and use it. That is, in economics, want means buy and consume goods. That is what. So that's what consumption. So want means buy and consume goods and services. So that is the meaning of what in economics. So in ordinary language, desire and want means are the same. But in economics, it is just something different for human. That is, it is related to human behavior to buy and consume goods. So wants may arise and due to different causes. Wants may arise due to elementary and psychological causes. Wants may arise due to social customs, habits, and social causes. Wants may arise even due to advertisement. Man tries to satisfy his wants. He tries to satisfy most of his wants through economic activity. Since the resources are limited, he has to choose between urgent wants and the less urgent wants, or we call it as the most urgent wants and not so urgent wants. So, a systematic survey of this process is known as consumption. So, what is consumption? A systematic survey of this process, that is choosing urgent wants or not less urgent wants, just goes for systematic process, and this is known as consumption. Characteristics of wants. So now we know what is consumption, what is wants in economics, and there are certain characteristics of wants. First, foremost, one is wants are unlimited. So characteristics of wants. Wants are unlimited. Now you can just decide or think. That's true. wants are unlimited. So under characteristics of wants, the first one is wants are unlimited. There are a lot of wants for human beings. Wants are countless in number and various in kinds. So when one want is satisfied, another want comes up. And human wants just multiply with the growth of civilization and scientific development. So wants are unlimited. But remember always, when wants are unlimited, means are scarce. Secondly, wants become habits. So wants become habits. For example, when a man starts reading newspaper in the morning, it becomes a habit. Same is the case with drinking tea or coffee or chewing pans and so on. Wants become habits and habits are responsible for wants. Thirdly, wants are satiable. Wants are satiable. Or satiable. Satiable means satisfactory. We can be satisfied with our wants. Though we cannot satisfy all our wants at the time, we can satisfy particular wants at a given time. When one feels hungry, he takes food and that want is satisfied. So wants are satiable. Wants are alternative. Wants are alternative. So, either this or that. We can choose. So that becomes wants are alternative. Now, though there are many wants, there are alternative ways also to satisfy a particular want. A want for hot drink may be satisfied with drinking of tea, coffee or milk or any other hot drinks. In the same way with breakfast, just we can have idli, dosa or chapati. So now remember, these alternative goods or methods are called substitutes. These alternative goods or methods are called substitutes. So wants are alternative. Wants are competitive. So fifth point, wants are competitive. So first we have to say wants are unlimited, wants become habits, wants are satiable, wants are alternative, and wants are competitive. So now for example, just to think of that, all our wants are not equally important. So there is competition among wants. Hence we have to choose the most urgent wants and comparing to the other that is not or less urgent wants. So wants are competitive. And another important point is wants are complementary. Sometimes satisfaction of a particular want requires the use of more than one commodity. So that's what we call it as wants are complementary. So now for example, to use this blackboard, I need pieces of chalk, duster and so on. So this is complementary with blackboard, duster and the pieces of chalk. In the same way, we can just make use of so many examples. Sometimes the satisfaction of a particular want requires the use of more than one commodity. For example, when we use car, petrol is needed. When I just want to use pen, ink is needed. When I want to write, I need a pen or pencil and notebook or paper. Same thing this, as I said the example, blackboard, need piece of chalk and duster. So wants are complementary. Wants are complementary. And then it comes with another one also. That's what we say it as complementary. Now wants are recurring. Wants occur again and again. So that's what we call it as wants are recurring. So recurring. Recurring means happens again and again. So that's what we call it as wants are recurring. So 6th point and 7th point. When one feels hungry, he eats and he satisfies his wants. But after some time, once again he feels hungry and he needs food. So that's what we just to say it as wants are recurring. So now let us just come to the conclusion. The characteristics of wants. Wants are unlimited. Wants become habits. Wants are satiable. Wants are alternative. Wants are competitive. And wants are complementary. And wants are also recurring. And of course, classification of goods or wants can be also done. So the classification of goods is divided into 3: necessaries, comforts, and luxuries. So, after characteristics of wants, classification of goods. Classification of goods or wants, you can just take it, and that is necessaries. Second, comforts. And third, luxuries. Luxuries. So what is necessary? The basic thing that a man needs for his living. That's what we call it as necessaries. Without these basic things, he cannot live. Man requires all these certain important basic needs. So that's what we call it as necessaries. Okay, like food, clothing and shelter. And they are called as necessaries. Now what is comforts then? Goods which are not indispensable for life. Which are not indispensable for life. But to make our life more comfortable, more convenient and more easy. So that's what we call it as comforts. Now for example, TV, fan, refrigerator and even air conditioner and so on. So comforts promote efficiency also. Then what is luxuries? Goods which are not very essential but are very costly are known as luxuries. Best examples: gold jewelries, diamonds and cars and so on. However, for people with higher income, they may look necessaries or comforts. Do you understand? Now people with higher income, they may just look for necessaries or comforts. And these classifications are only relative in their concept. What is comfort to one may be a necessity to another and a luxury to a third person. For example, owning a car. A car is a necessary for a businessman, for a doctor, but it is a luxury for a student. So we cannot just say that is necessary, luxury and comforts are that we cannot we are only related in their concept, and we cannot just say this is necessary and this is luxury and these are comforts and so on. But anyhow, there are classification of goods: necessaries, comforts and luxuries. Let us continue this lesson in the next class.